Hello Darts Nutz, welcome to Darts Review channel. So you might have seen that Shot Darts have brought out a new range called the Redline range, and they very kindly sent the darts for review. And they've also got some new colours in the flight deck, got the red and the blue. So I'll show you a close look at the flights, but obviously I've already reviewed the flights before, so there's no point in me reviewing them again, but I'll just give you a quick close look at them. And the three sets of darts, I think this is how you say it. It's the Mach 1, the Gizmo and the Blazed. And the Blazed has got a deep black tie coating on, and the Gizmo and the Mach 1 got a nice gold tie coating on. And these are 80% tungsten barrels. So for this review, I'm going to be looking at the Mach 1. So let's check them out. So I'm reviewing the 23 gram version. They're 80% tungsten, as I mentioned. They're also in 24 and 26 gram in steel tip, 20 gram in soft tip, and the retail for £57.50. Right, so they come in the slimline Shot cardboard packaging, and as often with Shot darts, you have some nice graphical artwork on the box, and as you can see, Redline Mach 1, and inside you've got the foam inlay holding everything in place, and they come supplied with the Shot in between alloy stems and nicely designed Redline flights in the small standard shape. I did say I'd show you the new flight deck colours, so obviously I've got the red and blue. I've took one out the packet already. I mean, I've already done the review on these, but these are the in-between size. Are they both in between? Yeah, in between. Yeah, 25.2 mil. And just to give you a quick recap, it's got like a carbon section inside, so this blue section is like pressed over the top, and they have a slight rotation. So I'll just have a quick look on the barrel with these on, see what they look like. So there you go, that's it in the red. And like I said, it doesn't like freely rattle, kind of a loose rotation, but it will rotate, and the usual features with moulded flights, the 90-degree angles, reinforced edges. So that is the new colours for the flight deck. That's fitted with a black coated point. It's a torpedo style shape, front weighted, and I'd say there's grip almost the full length, just a small smooth section at the very front and the very end, but you've got a fairly interesting mix of ring and groove grip. It's a little bit hard to see with the camera. I'll just move it away for a second. I think they're kind of like step down rings on that front. We'll see it better in the super close look just now. But this rear section, again, quite an interesting grip, but I think I'll probably have to check in the close up just now to see it in better detail. But very nice gold tie coating. Gold tie coating's one of my favourites, and obviously as a front gripper it should be a nice balance for me, but I think maybe that section on the rear could be a little bit more grippy. I thought that might have been the grippiest with that lateral cuts in it, but maybe just a touch more grippy on that rear. Not a lot in it, but again, neatly machined, and a nice one for front grippers, but also rear grippers who like a front weighted style. And as mentioned, they're fitted with the in-between alloy stems and the small standard Redline flights. So you've got a tapered nose section, and then there's some very fine knife-edged rings, and then a wider ring, and then this section looks like fairly wide double rings, but it's got inverse pyramid grip in between each set of rings, and then obviously, as you can see, you've got them lateral cuts, so quite a grippy section. And then you've got a single knife edge ring, and then on the rear it's a mix of like single, double sets and close double rings with a slight angle. I don't know if you can see it. So you can see the rings there, just got a bit of an angle on it, and that goes almost to the end, and then you got some fine grooves and then a smooth small section on the end of the barrel. So that's the super close look at the Redline Mach 1 darts. The darts fit with a black coated 30mm point. You've got a tapered nose which has got some very fine micro knife edged rings, that's 7mm, and then you've got this kind of double ring grip which has got inverse pyramidal grooves and lateral cuts, that's 13mm, and then a ring with a single knife edged ring, that's 3mm. On the rear it's a mix of double thin rings and kind of like angled rings, that's 18.6mm, and then you've got a section with some fine ring and groove on the end, 3.4mm, length 45mm, width 7.6mm. 23.08 grams. 23.07 grams. And 23.07, nearly perfect. Full setup, 25.16 grams. Here's the balance with nothing attached and with the supplied setup, and this is the balance with medium in between short nylon stems and standard flights. So I've certainly got a good level of grip. It may feel more grippy to some, but I think maybe 7.5. Right, just a few throws, as long as my elbow holds up. Trying to put that extra little bit of thrust into gets the pain, but this is the kind of dart I usually like, this kind of like chunky front weighted feel with a good level of grip. It's flying through the air quite smooth as well, and yeah, I got a treble. The other thing I've noticed is it's not spinning as much as I was expecting, because I'm quite a natural spinner of the dart anyway, and usually when I get lateral cuts on the barrel like that, often I end up spinning it a little bit too much. These are actually flying quite smooth, so that's a little bit surprising. There's just a little bit of stickiness on the grip, and I think it's just where the lateral cuts are kind of like meeting the corners of the inverted pyramid rings. But it's coming out my fingers easy enough, so I'd say it's flying through the air fairly smooth for the most part. So another one I'm probably going to look forward to when I get my elbow right. I'll just try that midsection. I think it's around where that single kind of knife edged ring is, so let's see what it feels like from there. I'm going on to the slope of the rear section a little bit. Ooh, I nearly got a treble. Ah, that one hurt. I think mid grippers can probably get away with it. It might be just one of them ones that you need to try, because it depends if you feel happy enough going from a fairly straight part and then kind of into a sloping part. I think a lot depends on how your fingers sit on the dart. For me, sometimes it feels a little bit strange, because it feels like there's almost like a gap going from there, and the dart is kind of moving a little bit because I'm on the thicker part a little bit on the front of my thumb and index finger. But again, you can move it up or down a little bit further, but I think for rear grippers, you're probably going to be fully on that tapered part. So probably front and rear grippers are the ones who get the best from it. So let's try it from the rear section. Oh, now that really went smooth through the air and quite straight. Oh, I got a treble as well. Got a nice flight path there from the rear grip. But that first one, I know that one's gone in the treble and that one didn't, but I really like the way that one flew, so that's all I'm throwing. My elbow's aching, so. But yeah, it's quite a nice feeling grip all along the dart. But I think in terms of the balance, it's going to be best for front grippers. But like I've mentioned before, quite a lot of rear grippers like a front weighted style. So if you do, it does feel quite a nice one for that as well. And it had quite a nice flight arc to it, but also that's the way I throw it as well. But yeah, I think it's definitely going to be another one that I'm looking forward to trying properly when I get my elbow right. I'm probably going to have a break in a few weeks' time, have a long break and see if I can get it right, because it's really getting on my nerves now. One day I'll feel as if it's almost getting better, and then I'll just do something like either push a door handle or the dog will pull us on the lead or anything like that, and then it'll twinge again. It seems to set it all off again, but that's that. But as for the darts, I'm always a fan of the gold tie, so I like that. I like the chunky feel at the front, and I like the front weighted feel. So for me, it's a kind of dart that I would like anyway. But if you're into your front weighted barrels and you like a decent level of grip, not an excessive amount of grip, then worth a look. So I'll leave you with the gallery so you can have a better look at them, and I'll see you on the next one. Happy darting.